Good evening and welcome to CultureBuzz. Hagai Leshen, Irit and Shuki Shviki. Please tell us why we're here tonight. What's the occasion?
First, we're very happy we're here tonight. We just finished performing this what we believe is a very unique creation of ours. Maybe it's best first if we introduce ourselves, and that would make exactly clear. I'm an opera singer by education, by profession, and these two amazing guys, this fantastic percussionist and this unbelievable singer and guitarist, are flamenco artists. And we came here...
Didn't study opera?
Never.
I'm still working on it.
Okay.
Eventually he will.
Let's see.
Yes. And
so how did you all meet?
How did we meet?
How did it begin?
Well, the concept began regardless to our meeting. This was a fantasy of mine to combine these two huge passions of mine, the opera and the flamenco. And this kind of combination has always been around, but usually they would just put the two things on the same stage in proximate time, but never really mixed the two together.
There were never opera singers singing flamenco.
Never.
There was just opera and flamenco on the same stage.
Exactly. I mean, of course, you have Monserrat Caballé singing pateneras and things like that, but these are...
Those are classical material.
Yes.
It's material that belongs to the classic music,
yes.
Not to the popular flamenco, traditional flamenco.
Not to the flamenco puro, not to the gitano.
So how did you first meet the flamenco, specifically you?
This is actually a very funny story, because it starts with how I started to sing opera. And this is when I was a child.
How
and
old?
My parents, I must have been 4 or 5 years old, and my parents took me to see Carmen in the Jerusalem festival.
We heard one piece of it, one small song from
The habanera, exactly. And ever since I've seen this show, which I was totally mesmerized by, I wanted to be Carmen. And I still, until today, I remember myself as a child sitting there and just sensing this art. And later when I grew up, I said, well, if I want to be Carmen, I have to learn how to sing opera. And this is how I started singing opera. And of course, the first thing I ever sang was Carmen. Then sadly, I became a soprano, so nobody lets me sing Carmen anymore. And then one day I went to see Antonio Gades, who was visiting, well, not him anymore, but his group, who was visiting Israel.
A famous flamenco dancer.
Very famous. And they were doing their own take on Carmen, maybe exactly this kind of Flamenco Opera Fusion that already existed, where they had some flamenco puro parts, and which were amazing, and they had some dance to the music from the opera, which for me worked less. And when I came out of the show, I was with my mother, and we called my father, who was not there, and we shared our experiences. And then my father said to me, but Irit, you've seen this show before. I said, no. I mean, of course, I've seen other things by Antonio Gades, but not specifically this one. He said, no, of course you saw it, when you were 4 years old in the Jerusalem festival. So, in the very late age, which I'd rather not say how old I was at that time, I discovered that my whole life was a mistake. And actually, I was singing opera because I wanted to do flamenco. So that was the kick. A few weeks later, I was in Granada studying flamenco dance. And shortly before I went to Granada was the first time we met. I asked Shuki to give me a lesson in flamenco singing.
So Shuki, you were already doing flamenco then. How did you start with flamenco?
I started with flamenco. I started with the guitar when I was like a teenager, about 15 or something like that. I was playing the guitar, looking for music, kinds of music to interest in, and I found flamenco. I discovered flamenco through one teacher I had here it was in Jerusalem. He taught me the basics of flamenco, and then it was like it caught me, the flamenco guitar, this world of flamenco. So I started.
It's very virtuosic playing with the guitar.
Yes, I think that's what caught me in the first place. But then when I got deep into this art, I found a lot more.
Did you speak Spanish at home already?
No. I learned Spanish in the second time I was in Spain. When the first time I went to Spain, it was like for a month. Take some guitar lessons or stuff like that.
Where in Spain?
In Jerez de la Frontera. And then when I got back to Israel, I started interesting in the singing of flamenco, and I started to learn it by myself. And then I went for Spain to study the singing. And then I stayed there like 3 years in Sevilla most of the time, and I studied the language, the singing, about everything.
Hagai, what about you? How did you get to flamenco?
I played drums and percussion for all my life, and at one point, I guess me and Shuki, it happened in the same point. I heard a CD of flamenco, and the singing really caught me. And I said I want to go to Spain to learn flamenco. I didn't know what is. I play cajon. It's now flamenco uses this instrument, and
it's not the traditional.
It came from Peru, and in the 70s, Paco de Lucia brought it to Spain. And at that point I said I want to go to Spain. I didn't know where, but I just opened the internet where I could study cajon. And after a time I talked to Shuki, and we discovered that we were in the same place in Jerez de la Frontera,
same time,
studying flamenco.
But you didn't meet.
We didn't meet.
We meet afterwards in Israel.
And afterwards we met in Israel, and and this is we have a long history. I think in maybe 9 years we started play together and practice the flamenco art together.
So for 9 years you two have been working together, and when did you meet irit? When did irit join into this
Roman
duo to make it a trio?
When was that?
Well, first Shuki and I started working on this project.
Okay.
6 months ago, I think, something like this. We started, and now towards this show, Hagai joined us, and he added a lot of color and energy to this show.
There is something very intimate about flamenco, even when combined with opera. There is an intense quality that, many people probably say the passion, also passion to the point of tension. Does it affect the way you work together, or how is this managed?
I think certain things, this is what we discussed before, that certain things only come to life on the stage. Because it's very in the moment. It's very, so you can practice the structure of the song. You can practice. For me, I had to practice a lot the rhythms. I mean,
the
I'm
harmony,
still,
everything.
yes.
But there's some stuff that appears on stage, and in flamenco it's very.
And that's the duende that you were asking about before.
It comes
The
to life.
duende.
Your ringtone is not flamenco.
Yes, it is.
Yes?
Yes,
Okay.
it is.
You needed a little bit more. Okay, maybe let me just ask. I understand that each of you separately has been to Spain, but you haven't yet been there together.
Together, no, not yet.
So you don't yet know how this is received.
I think irit tried some.
Yes,
You performed with this.
As I said, this is a concept that I've been boiling on for a while.
Okay.
And I actually started working to this direction already a year ago in Rosh Hashanah. And this is funny also to see how the people in Jerez were doing the palmas for the Carmen in the fiesta, at the end of the fiesta. I have it recorded. It was probably...
How was it? Were they good at the beat compared to this?
They did okay.
I think the common people in Jerez de la Frontera tienen. They have a bit of quite good compass.
No, it's actually rhythm. It was fantastic. It's such a shame I don't have it in a good quality recording because they come in with all this contratiempo and jaleo and stuff, and it was amazing. But especially it was 4 in the morning, and we all had a lot to drink. But yes, it was great. But also we were practicing. I was practicing with a guitarist in Jerez de la Frontera, somebody who's not part of us right now, Tiago, a wonderful guitarist and a great teacher for me because, of course, I had to learn this style as well. And I remember at some point we did a little recording in La Gitaneria, where, by the way, the owner of the place told me that he was with Antonio Gades in Israel, so probably this was a closing of a circle for me, because that's probably the person who made me start singing. But after this we went to another peña, and my friend said, come on, sing, because in Jerez you never know, the person pouring the beer might be a great singer. And he was. I mean, Tiago knew that. This is why he encouraged me to sing to him. And we were sitting around, fooling around, doing some fiesta. He was singing something, I was singing something, and he just loved it. I mean, people were, like we say in Hebrew, they were flying on it, because the capacity of the voice combined with the capacity of the letras of those songs, especially for the people who come from the flamenco world, it just brings them to another level, and they really are fascinated by it. So I think the audience in Spain is likely to like this.
Do you have plans to go there? What are your plans together?
We have dreams. We have dreams of going there.
Okay. Well, thank you very much in the name of CultureBuzz and our audience abroad. Thank you for a wonderful show tonight. It was a very good concert. I enjoyed it immensely.
Great.
And thank you for giving us of your time and telling us a bit of the history. Is there anything you want to add before we end?
I think
we want to say thank you to Flamenco.
Okay. Gracias.
Gracias por la vida.
Okay, Ole, thank you.
Thank you.